first junior ministerial job was with Harold Macmillan, and I was a parliamentary secretary to the Ministry of Pensions. And I worked very hard, and I knew all my statistics, and I went round to all the pensions organisations. And there was a very great issue, there still is. It's the earnings rule. Pensioners' earnings rule, they still want to abolish it. And there's a question of the cost of abolishing it. And I had a figure, and people just didn't think that figure was right. So I said, all right, I will just check. Sent someone to the civil service box to check. And my mind was on the job as it would be. And along came a piece of paper. I was at the dispatch box, so I picked it up and said, looked at it, and I said, I have the latest red-hot figure. Yes, exactly. You're a man. You see, the girls don't laugh. That's exactly the point. Exactly the point. I didn't think of what I was saying at all. The whole place collapsed around me. Collapsed around me. I never done it again. Never done it again.
I remember one occasion, I'd probably be put in jail for this because I think it's a cabinet secret that I'm revealing. When we were having a discussion, and it wasn't a cabinet, so it's all right, I hope. Somebody said, well, that's all very well. It was the Prime Minister herself said, that's all very well. We're talking about it from our point of view, but what do normal people think about this? And she turned round to George Younger and said, George, you're normal. What do you... So everybody laughed, and there was that pause before she said, oh, men.
May I demonstrate?
Yes, please.
Mrs. Thatcher's goodbye. She said, we might have to stand up for this.
Yes,
is that possible?
Stand, yes.
Yes.
Who are you?
I'm Mrs. Thatcher.
Oh, good.
Well, goodbye. It's so nice of you to come. And,
That does seem familiar now you mention it.
suddenly you're in the street and you're not quite sure how you got there.
Now, you've raised the subject, Neil. The other woman in your life, Mrs. Thatcher, she was on this show. I asked her then if, at the end of the working day, she said to you, Neil, you've been on great form today, let's go for a drink. And she seemed to imply that that didn't happen. You're obviously not pals, but is there a glimmering of respect due to her from you?
Well, I don't know, Michael. I do respect Mrs. Thatcher very strongly for one thing, and that is that this is a pretty tough life in any case, but for women, it's particularly tough, and we've got too few women in the House of Commons and in politics generally, in any case. And the fact that she could become leader of a party, and the Conservative Party, is a matter of eternal credit to her. I can't think of hardly anything else, other than general values, obviously, that we've got agreement about, but I'll always admire for that. That she was the first one to make it, and that's pretty good.
Gin and orange?
Sort of. Mate, listen. Which camera am I on?
All of them.
All the lights. I used to sing a song years ago, and a great friend of mine was Keith Moon. I'd like to sing a song. Nobody knows this. Is the band okay? And it was called I Was Known as the Wild One. And it goes roughly like this. It goes roughly like this. It goes, I was known as the wild one by all the folks in town. Can I get over there? But I've never, ever...
Well, thank you for coming. It's been a wonderful...
You've been in prison 3 times.